Hi guys. Well, this is a serious one. This is a psychology one. If you're a psychology nut, if you're a buff into that, if you're a psychology buff, I don't know what even that means. Anyway, I have an interesting case that I want to share because one, it's a social injustice, and I'm an autistic, so I've got issues with it. So I want to shed light on it to you people. Now, you know that I don't often do cases, crime cases, but this one is another one that I just think the truth needs to be told. And of course, that's what autistics are on this earth for, probably. Who knows? No, we're more than that. I'm just saying. If anyone's going to pick up on a social injustice, it's going to be an autistic. So, I will give a warning. If you have suffered narcissistic abuse from your mother, you may need to, depending on where you are on your journey, I mean, I have healed, but if you have not, I just want you to take some caution in listening to this, basically, because everyone's different in their healing journey. And if you were young, particularly, you might not even understand the psychology of this. It's quite deep. And I will try my best to shed the light of the psychology side as much as the case to help you, which hopefully helps you in your life, understand why some things have happened to you, why it happened to you. So listen up. I don't like being the bearer of bad news. That's why I don't do these cases like some channels can do it over and over. I don't know how they can do it. I would get very depressed. I'm kind of like the candlelight that needs to come into dark places sometimes, though, and shed a bit of light. And that's what I want to do. So I'm going to do it. Oh, where do I start? So, this is in America. Okay? No shade to America. America's a large country, lots of population. That's probably why. Anyway, in the olden days, young ones, you who are my age and older, just laugh at that. Anyway, in our generation, our mothers would do things to undermine our youth, okay, or undermine having a daughter. For some reason, some mothers see their daughters as competition. It's very sad because it shouldn't be like that. I don't have a daughter, but if I did, I would want her to be better than me. I would want her to be having more than me, doing better than me, right? Just like I do with my sons. I take a bullet for them. And to my grandkids. I take a bullet for them. But I just can't imagine doing this to my child. I can't imagine doing it to someone else's child. I can't imagine it doing to any human. I can't imagine how this child, I just want to like salute this. She was 13 when this abuse that I'm about to disclose started and 15 when it ended. And I'm telling you, she's a tough cookie. And I want to say that because I think that girl needs to know that. I salute her because she's strong. I don't know if I could have been that strong at that age dealing with what she dealt with. So I'm just going to read a few things. I'm not going to say anything about it except for read a few things. Like, first off, so she's being bullied. Okay? I'll read you a bunch of bullying texts so that you just at least get, let's just build the base here. Okay, we have a text message from an unknown number. So you know when you've got no one in your phone and it doesn't match, it says unknown number. And she was in a relationship, she was 13, she got a boyfriend, and it's all linked. These text messages of bullying is linked to her and her boyfriend. So they're both 13 and they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Anyway, the text message says, and it gets sent to both of them, and it reads, "He never wants to see you again. He effing hates you, your ugly anorexic body. He wants better and someone he gonna love forever and be the only girl for him. Next message. Sorry, I shouldn't say dead. That was too far. I've got some more messages here. Okay. Sorry, guys. My Owen is breaking up with you. 13-year-old. That's hard. Not that I can relate. I wasn't dating at 13. I was just learning to speak. Anyway, you are the ugliest person I've ever seen. Ain't no one want to see your anorexic flat ass. Wow. He wants sex. Sorry, keyword searches. I don't really want, kill yourself. It's brutal. So, it just goes on, and I just want to find some more, because if you don't know the background of some of this, you can't get in the head of what this bully is doing. So you fucked up, you treat him like shit. Sorry for the swearing, guys. You don't get with him in bed, you don't sneak out with him, you're effing dress awful, ain't no guy want that, you look like an anorexic toddler. Oh gosh, I don't even like reading these words, it's so hateful. That ain't sexy, it's embarrassing. You need to do something about that. You need to change your face, hair, body, clothes. Wow, that's pretty intense, isn't it? See if there's any more. So there's 2 years of text messages, just to let you know. He agreed he won't give you his jersey to wear. He won't be wasting no time. No waste of space. Mistake. Ugly anorexic toddler wearing his shirt is embarrassing to him. He ain't proud of you and wishes he never met you. Sorry ass. Met your sorry ass. Oh, such hateful speech. I hate it. I'm sorry. It's terrible. He said it look better on a dog than you. Embarrassed when you wear it. Oof. Oof. It's sharp, right? It's sharp words. We're talking about really sharp words here. For 2 years, these 13-year-olds were dealing with this. Not knowing where it's coming from. In contact with the police. Yes. You may be aware of this on Netflix. But they lied. For entertainment purposes only. Anyway, I will tell you why I think like that, and I will tell you what I think the result should have been, because of my social injustice issues. Okay, why do you think he's always talking to me? Sorry, got that wrong. Why do you think he's always talking to me? It is obvious. He does not want you in his life. Give up. He talks shit about you all the time. You didn't get invited to his football game. I did. You didn't get invited to his house. I did. You didn't get invited to sleep with him. I did. I'm spending the night with him. I'm sharing a bed with him. Not you. He is comforting me, not you. You didn't get invited to be with him in a hot tub. I did. Okay, so it's just relentless, guys. This is up to 50 texts a day. 2 years. So anyway, the police are looking around at everyone, of course, because they couldn't find the source. I mean, you'll understand why they couldn't find the source, because it's just not what people expect. Hey, you done crying from bus? Sorry, not sorry. Hey, I'm warning you, he's effing promise he pick us and will do anything we say today to make you the F jealous. He want you out. He F promise every chance he be with us, talking us on our shit in your fucking face, bitch. Get a fucking life and fuck off. Don't look at us or him, bitch. We fucking be watching you. I'm going to stop there now. Okay. Here's some psychology on that. We all know that a bully behind a screen, behind, you know, you get, as creators, we get trolls. You all know that. They always come in and they think there's a weakness. I'll say something and it's always like, oh, like I've never heard that before. It's the typical stuff, right? But I'm an adult. I have evolved as an adult. I'm 51. I have a bag of tools. I still get affected by it, but I'm not impacted in the way of ending in mental health issues, right? A child, a 13-year-old child, and even up to when she was 15, and this boy was 13 to 15, they're exposed to these sexually explicit, disgusting, bullying, vile, nasty words. Relentless for 2 years. Now, 2 years to a 13, 14, 15-year-old is a lifetime. It will never leave them. Your high school years are just etched in your brain. And this should have been their awesome years. You know what? I know with my kids, it was like they're in high school. They need to have fun. They need to be with their friends and they need to be going to parties and doing all those fun things. I mean, you know, you've always got the scary things of drinking too soon, too much, and taking drugs or anything like that. But basically, it's meant to be their great years, right? And even into the early 20s, you know, like I believe in like, go slow, because once you are a full-grown adult and you're out there, it's brutal. So most of us parents don't want our kids to be, it's almost like we have to like stop ourselves from wrapping them in cotton wool, right? Well, this young girl, after 2 years and police investigations getting thicker, stronger on the case, and a gutless, and I call you out, policeman, gutless way to tell her that the person doing the text messages was her mother. So if you don't believe women out there that you've heard stories from, my mum does this to me, my mum does that, and you're like, she's your mum, she loves you. Yeah, she said that from her prison letters. I love you so much. I love you. I'll ring you tonight. I'm just in prison for bullying you and being sexually explicit and dirty and causing you mental health problems and... I just don't even have the words for the psychological damage that woman did to her daughter, let alone the boy. And there's other people in the town that got affected too, because there was accusations to other people that was false, obviously because they're thinking it's other kids at school. Normally bullying happens from other kids at school, right? We all know that, and we all know that that's we all know that that's normally the place where it actually comes from, other children. And I want to say something too about the case. Number one, she was not charged on a sex crime. What the fuck? Sorry, I am going to swear because it makes me damn mad. That's not justice. If that is not sexual abuse by cyber, if that was a man, he'd be in prison for a lot longer. And I think she needs to be too. Because the obsession seemed to be towards the boyfriend. Now, you can watch the thing, you can read the text messages. There's plenty of crime channels covering it where you can read an hour of text messages Because like I said, 2 years of this, 50 messages a day. She had a second phone that she hid. Didn't even tell her husband that she lost her job. Anyway, basically, this needs to stop. Women are evil too, and they can cause harm to their children and to other children in a sexual way as well as a abusive way. And they need to be met with the same consequences in a court of law to what they've done and action taken, and that's where they need to be. And they need to be sussed out. Can they be redeemable or not? Now with this one, I don't think she can. Anyone that can do that to their own child, irredeemable. It never works out. How do I know this? Because I've done the therapy. And my therapist told me outright, you have every right to love your mother. And I do love my mother. So I understand the girl's struggle when I love my mum. It's hard, guys. It's very hard to get your head around that your mum calls you names. I was called a slut. I was a virgin until 18. I was called a slut as a minor by my own mum. I was in purity class and it broke my heart. And she knew that she wanted to break my heart. She wanted to make me feel shame. Because I wasn't doing what she did at my age, which we're two different people. But these mothers are not thinking right. Obviously, as you can tell with this one is next level. This one's on steroids. However, if you don't think that some mothers take great pleasure in harming their children, I beg you to rethink that. And I beg you to watch this, knowing what I'm telling you right now to be true. She went to prison, not long enough. Like I said, there was not a sexual charge. There should have been, and that should have amplified it. She has sexually assaulted both children in those text messages. We have to have that line. Not even the words should be spoken to a minor like that. So basically, women are capable of doing it too. Women are capable for evil as well. Crimes, hideous things against humans, their own children. And this is a reality that we keep trying to, but it's, no, I can't look. You have to face the fact that some mothers are dangerous to their children. Dangerous to the community, women in general. Especially women that demonize men. Stop. Because women can be just as evil. Let's be honest. Humans are humans. Okay? Look, in psychology, when you look at forensics, there's different crime types. So a male will tend to commit violent crimes and sexual crimes, and a female will tend to commit fraud and all those, stealing and all those kinds of stuff. There is a list, and you can look it up, of the crimes where a male and female tends to commit. This is all just stereotyping, as you know. But this type of stuff, no one can get their head around. And I understand the cognitive dissonance that goes on in someone's head going, that's a mother. Because we're all mothers. Like, a lot of us are mothers or fathers. And we go, saying that to my daughter? I can't imagine telling my daughter something awful about her body, something awful about her, something awful in a text message, pretending to be a bully. What? It's jealousy, guys. Narcissistic mothers are jealous of their daughter's youth. They regret that they obviously didn't live theirs the right way or whatever. I don't know. I don't know that thinking. But that's the theory in the textbooks, okay? It's jealousy. When I was told by my therapist after she met with my mum that my mum was jealous, I couldn't believe it. I still can't. Because I love my mum. So please give this girl grace, because daughters like that, like us, we have it so hard. Because you can say that this abuse or that abuse is the worst betrayal. No, you know what's the worst betrayal? A mother, whether it's a male or female child, a mother betraying a child. Think about it. If you've got a mother and you've had a loving mother and she betrayed you, think about that. The world's no longer safe, right? If your own mother can do that, well, you're not protected. You're not protected in society. You know that they could do anything to you at any point. It's really, there's a lot of healing that girl has to go through. Let alone the torment for 2 years that she has to recover from. There's more than that, guys. She's going to have to learn a lot more recovery, and then she's going to have her own kids. She's going to be triggered. She is going to overcompensate, probably like I did, and then her kids might even accept that grandmother when they grow up, and that's going to break her heart if she's like no contact or something. It happens. It's devastating to families when this happens, because it's not black and white, it's not clear cut, but it's a phenomenon that needs to be talked about, it needs to be known, and it needs to have light shed on it, and we need more documentaries on it. Because we have heaps on the Jeffrey Epstein files and all that. Good, I get that, need that. But guess what? We've got an epidemic of women, a certain portion of mothers, who are harming their children, their daughters. And I want it to stop. I want it to be known. Because there's too many people, jeez, it's hot tonight. I've had a Panadol. Turning up the autism again. I've got fever again. So I've got to be careful. Basically, this needs to be talked about. This needs to be brought to the public's attention. Because the damage that this does, like I said, there is the formative years. Your mother is everything. If you don't have your mother look after you, you die as a baby, a toddler, until you can, I don't know, somehow a child can make themselves something to eat from a kitchen. I don't know what age that is. I can't remember child development to that level. It's been a long time. But basically, if you've had betrayal by your own mother, what else? What's worse than that? There's nothing worse than that. So if you feel like, oh, but I've had an ex-wife, ex-husband betray me, none. Not compared to your mother, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to your own mother. I cannot express that enough. And this damage is so significant to these women. Some women never recover. And I don't feel justice is ever getting served on this. And I feel like that this type of case has gone too far, and it was 18 months in jail is not long enough. She went through 2 years of torment, and the offender gets 18 months. That's just not on. And so I wanted to bring this story to light, because the good thing about social media, even though it's devastating for this poor girl and boy that had to suffer this mother's terrible, horrific, disgusting words. I mean, oh, I don't come from a family that speaks like that. I just, except for the occasional swear word when you kick your toe, or when I was called a slut. Big deal though. But I'm just saying, like, they suffer 2 years, relentless bullying, text after text after text, all day at school for 2 years. And she goes away for 18 months. That's not on. I'm sorry, that's not justice. Trump, fix it. Go on, fix it. Okay? Women we deserve to be safe. Do you know how much pressure is on women? Look, I get men. I always defend men. I think men get such a bad rap, and I think it needs to stop because not all men are bad. But I'll tell you this. Women can be so evil. And I think we need to be on the lookout. And I highly recommend anyone who's got kids at school, just be on the lookout for mothers like this and support that child. Because one thing I know that I benefited from was everyone around that saw it and stepped in some way and made something positive for me. It made a massive difference to my experience, let alone the rest of my family members who gave me a different experience of what a woman in a guardian role should do, luckily. But this is a horrific case. It is. I feel sad for this girl. I know her pain. And I know that it's going to be a lifelong pain. Because the mother will never take responsibility. She has not taken responsibility. She keeps making excuses. She keeps rambling on about things, and she keeps acting like she loves the daughter. They do that. They fuck with your head. It's not okay. Even when you're an adult, it is a hierarchy situation. It is a power imbalance. It's not okay. So, us women need to stick together. And this kind of stuff needs to stop. And these types of women, shame them. Absolutely shame them. And say, that's how you just spoke to your daughter then? I disagree. I think that was really rude. I think we need to get to that point, just like we used to do, you know, when we stopped the dads getting into that, you know, the boys getting to being a teenager, and the dad goes, right, let's have a fisticuff, because, you know, it's, you know, the boys are trying to challenge dad, you know, got to challenge dad. People would step in and say, right, we don't do that anymore. And you know what? It's X generation, the boys used to get a punch from their dad. Then it turned into, you know, us X generation with our kids. It's just a bit of a, you just stay right there, and I'll pin you down if I have to from going and doing something stupid. And that's as far as it will go. Or go to your room. Jeez, man. Wasn't like that when I was a kid. I tell you now. It was corporal punishment. But I'm just saying, if you see something, say something. Do not ignore abuse, whether it's a daughter or a son. Just, and I'm not talking about petty things or things that maybe just isn't your business, and you should just leave some things because someone will deal with it. But if you know there's something going on and you don't think someone's dealing with it, and you think there's an alert going on, there's a red flag, say something. I don't care if it's to the teacher. Like, just say a welfare check, please. I want a welfare check on this kid. I'm worried about this kid. Say something. You might just intervene, and I'm a qualified social welfare person, and I'm telling you now, they can, if things are found, which is the hard bit too, is to prove things. They do go to parenting classes. You hope that helps, right? Depends if it's a malignant narcissist or not. I don't know. I'm not a psychiatrist, but basically the psychology of it is pretty messed up. These women just low self-esteem, could be borderline personality, could be narcissistic personality disorder, any of those things. But it's not acceptable. And it's not an excuse to abuse a child, their child, just because they're not coping. Never an excuse to abuse your child because you're not coping. I had massive battles, especially when I was young, because of my mother. And my children did not suffer that. I never allowed the generational trauma to affect my children. But them seeing me cry has hurt them. And it's sad because they see her now, and it's like they caused me to cry and caused you to get upset. So unfortunately, guys, it's not always a happy ending in these stories. And I really hope for this girl that it is. Because that's brutal. I remember all the time walking into a room and she's bitching about me to her friends. Or you get that look. She's talking to a friend and you get that look and you know it's about you. And you know it's a lie. Because you know you're a good kid. And you've got other adults in the family going, you're a good kid, just know that. And it's like, yeah, I know why you're saying that. I remember even being at a family function and it was in-laws, not my in-laws, my brother's in-laws, and I had one guy who's one of that family, and he sat next to me and he said, you know, you're a winner, you know. And I was like, weird. Autistic, right? I'm in my 20s. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm a winner. winner, chicken dinner. What? He's like, just know that, like, you know, you're really successful and you're really cool. I was like, thank you. And I knew why he was saying it, because at that time, it was my brother's engagement party. And because I had children and it was a children-free house, I had to sit with the children isolated in another room while they all had a sit-down meal in the living room. So now I'm sure my brother regrets a lot of this behaviour because he learnt it from my mother. He learnt this, and this is anyone that knows toxic systems. There's the favourite, there's the scapegoat, you know the deal, okay? There's plenty of books if you want to read books on this, if you need healing or anything. There's some great books out there. But that was my experience, and I felt less than, and I was young, so I didn't have as much self-esteem as now because I was still developing, and I'm developmentally delayed. So whatever age I was less than that socially, mentally. So I just want to say, if you've got a good mum, give her a good hug and say thank you, because some of us don't get it. And I want to say to you women out there that didn't get that, you deserved it. And I'm sorry you didn't get it. And all we can take from this is knowing, and I'm sure you all did the same thing as me, is how much we love our children. Even when, like my children are, they're being mean right now, disrespectful, and just ungrateful. However, they're just struggling in their own life, in their own way probably, and I'm a mother. I will love them no matter what. So, can't imagine hurting my child this way. Like that, or what I've gone through. But unfortunately, we need better laws on this. Child abuse in Australia is not taken seriously if you're from a different country, just to let you know, okay? It's pretty much, and especially if they've got money, they can hide it. It's pretty easy. Very easy. And I'm just not going to go into everything in my life because this is public. And I'd like to keep some things because of my dignity and because of, you know, it's my private story, right? I don't want to share everything. But if you're out there and you've had a mother that's been pretty brutal, pretty nasty, I understand your pain. I really do. And I promise you, you can heal. So don't ever think you can't, because I have. And a good place to start, if you want to know where to start, is reparenting yourself. It's a really good place to start, actually. There's plenty of books on that, but don't just grab any book, of course. Look at reviews, stuff like that. But reparenting is a good place to start, because if you haven't been parented well, there's only one way of going about it, is parenting yourself. Now, I kind of did that while I was raising my children, because I'm like, okay, this situation's coming up. How do I deal with it in a healthy way? How do I do this healthy? How do I do this better? How do I do this well? If only my kids knew what I've overcome to be their mum. But I did get my reward, I guess, in words. For a moment, I got told that I'm the best mum in the world. And I hope I see them soon. But anyway, it made me a better mum. So it's not bad. Because when I look at my kids, I can say I made them. They are beautiful people. And I'm proud of that. They're good kids. They love hard. They work hard. And I'm damn proud of them, and so is their father. So we were at every game. We were there for every drama that happened at any age. And that's the thing about having difficulties in your own childhood, is when you have your own kids, you get to heal yourself through that. That's how I did it anyway. So what a terrible case, hey? And I wanted to express this because I relate to this. And I know many other women do too. And you need the validation, because growing up is hard. But growing up with the bully being your own mother is the hardest. I don't know how I did it. I mean, I used to get home from school and she's sitting with my friends. It's like, it's weird. You talk about me, I'm assuming? It was awful. Anyway. Some of us don't always get perfect lives. And at 51, I tell you what, boy, do I know that one. So if you're young, just know that life is not going to turn out the way you want all the time, but you're going to be okay anyway. Because whether you believe in God, whether you believe in fate, your life will take you where you need to be. There's always a reason. There's always a reason. And every day's a new day. And I think women, we need to hold other women to a high standard from that type of behaviour. Because I'm sorry, if this was a dude, he'd be locked up for a lot longer. And we all know it, don't we, women? So I think that we need to step up. If a woman does a crime, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, the crime needs to have certain time and almost be anonymous what sex they are, because this is rubbish. Women are pulling the mental health card after they do such horrific things. 2 years of bullying her daughter and then dealing with her daughter's mental health problems with it. Makes me want to vomit, actually. Anyway. So yeah, if you've got a good mum, hug your mum and say thank you. Because I'd give anything to have a good mum. I've forgiven her, but she just doesn't want to change. It's her choice, and she'll have to take that to the grave. And someone who knows my fate, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to. I am glad and happy with everything I've chosen, everything I've done in my life, said in my life. All of my beliefs, all of my ways of doing everything has been, to me, still now, as I look back, right. The only thing I would change is I overindulged in my children a little bit too much. And maybe should have had a bit more talking, a bit more lessons. I don't know, just a bit more chats and things. Because, guys, I never had a chance though being autistic. There's many things I would have missed being an autistic mum, and that's just my fate. So anyway, guys, if you want to look up this case, it is on Netflix if you've got Netflix. I don't know where else it is, but check out YouTube. There's probably a lot of crime channels doing it better than I am. But basically, it is it's the Netflix Unknown Number, the high school catfish, which turns out to be a mum. I'm so sorry if it's a spoiler alert and you're watching it and it doesn't tell you at first, and then oh dear. Anyway, but the mother's name is Kendra, the daughter's name is Lauren, and devastating story. And I feel nothing but just sadness for this. I feel so sad for her. So everyone that's like me and you pray for this girl, because she's got a lot of healing to do. And I think she needs some help from other women. So send some good vibes to this girl, because she needs it. She deserves it. She needs to be loved. She needs to know what love is. Thanks, guys, for listening. And if you were triggered, I'm sorry. It is not my intention. My intention is social justice and to change the world. Go and do something nice for yourself if you have been triggered. I don't care what it is, the Tim Tam, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video. I don't do crime ones often, but when it hits me somewhere, I go, no, I've got to speak about this. So anyway, I hope this has been insightful, and please just don't look at mothers and go, oh, it's a mother, they're safe. Perfectly safe, they're a mother. Safe. No. Just watch their behaviour, look at their children, suss out what's going on. And I'm not saying be that creepy, stalky, getting involved in people's business person. No, that's actually narcissistic as well. All right, don't go bossy. Don't be all bossy. I'm just saying, if you just happen to just see something really intense and you think, oh, something doesn't feel right in your gut, tell someone. If it's at a school, tell a teacher or a principal. If it's at a sport place, tell the head of the sport place or whatever. Just, yeah, keep an eye out, because this stuff is a real thing. Women abusing their daughters. And I'd love to know the actual stats, because the shame has probably hidden a lot of the stats and they get away with it. She got jail time, but most mothers just get away with it. And the damage that gets done to our lives is big. I've lost my whole family because they don't like to abuse you in front of others, do they? No. They're civil or really nice to you in front of others, and behind closed doors when it's just the two of you, you're fucked. Anyway. That's their way they operate. So supervision is needed. Anyway, take care, guys, and sorry for the bad news, but I think it's a good case. If you're into psychology, I think that this is something that needs light on it. We need to be spotlight on that, because we need to change it. Whether we can intervene in these mothers before it gets to that by getting therapy, whether it's saving the child so that they don't have to be damaged too bad, I don't know, but it has to be spoken about. I know it's dark. Anyway, thanks for listening. Take care, guys. I mean it. Take care. I love you.